So I live in Las Vegas, otherwise known as Vegas Baby. And so of course I had to invite the king for a guest appearance. Hello you all. I heard that you are preparing for the CFA exam, so I thought I would drop in and help you with mortgage payments and balloon payments. So I'm thinking of buying this property, Graceland, and I have to borrow $100,000 for it, and the interest rate is 0.4% monthly. I also expect summers in 10 years and $10,000 in 20 years. So how much do I have to pay monthly? The way you think about this is, first, you find the present value of the first balloon payment and subtract it from the amount I'm borrowing. Next, you find the present value of the second balloon payment and subtract it from the amount I'm borrowing. That will give you the amount which is left to be repaid by the monthly payments I make. So you have $100,000 borrowed, and you subtract the present value of the two balloon payments from that $100,000. That is the amount which will be repaid by the monthly payments. And then you can use the annuity formula to find the value of the monthly payments. So let us begin by finding the value of the first balloon payment. Now that will be $6,667 divided by 1.004. The rate of return is 4%. The rate of return is 0.4% monthly. And how many months is this first balloon payment made after? Well, it is made after 10 years, which is 120 months. So it will be 1.004, which is 1 plus 0.4% to the power 120, and that equals $4,129. I'm not only good at music, I'm also good at math. It's 4,129. Next, you will look at the value of the balloon payment of $10,000. So that will be 10,000 divided by 1.004. Now this is 20 years. So that will be 240 months. Now you are using the monthly interest rate here. So you have to use the number of months as your number of periods. So it will be 1.004 to the power 240, which will be equal to $3,836. So you subtract from 100,000 these two balloon payment values, present values, and what you get would be $92,035. So the present value of the annuity that you repay by making the monthly payments, or rather the present value of the annuity I repay by making the monthly payments, is 92,035, and I stick this into the annuity formula, and I have $92,035 equal to the monthly repayment divided by the rate of return, which is 0.4%, into 1 minus 1 plus the rate of return, which is 1.004, and it's a 30-year mortgage, so that will be to the power 360. That's 360 months in 30 years. And then you solve for the value of C in this equation, and you get your monthly repayment to be $483. Now I better sell some records to make that monthly repayment. And good luck with your exam. Love me tender, love me sweet. I'm back already. I wanted to give you a timeline. So what is a timeline? The timeline tells you what payments are made and what you get. So what I get is I get a loan of $100,000 and I make a monthly payment of C. Also after, so that's period 1, 2, so on till I make a payment of $6,667 plus the usual monthly payment. At period 240, I make the payment of $10,000 plus the usual monthly payment, and so on. I keep making monthly payments till finally at period 360, that is after 30 years, when my loan is finally paid off, I am free. I make the last payment of C. So the way in which I find the monthly payments is to recognize I'm getting $100,000 today, and I am making these payments of $6,667 and $10,000, 120 and 240 periods later, and the value of these payments are $4,129 today and $3,836 today. So I subtract these two payments of $4,129 and $3,836, which are separately paid off by the balloon payments. So I subtracted from the money that I'm receiving today, and what remains is $92,035. So this $92,035 is what these monthly repayments repay. Therefore, in the annuity formula, I will stick $92,035 to calculate the monthly repayments. Now I'm going to give you some instructions of how to use the Texas Instruments BA2 calculator. This is one of the calculators which is allowed in the CFA exam, and you need to learn how to use it, because even though you can do the questions using an ordinary calculator, however, you are not going to have enough time to be able to do the questions in the given time. So this BA2 calculator, which I have a picture here, it can do many kinds of calculations, and I'm going to teach you two basic kind of calculations. One is if there are constant payments made, that is, if there is an annuity, how do you calculate the present value, or to find the rate of discount or the future value of the annuity. So that is the first kind of question. The second kind of question is, if there are uneven cash flows, then how will you find the present value or future value? So to start, you turn on the calculator, and suppose what you're trying to find is the future value of an investment of $1,000. The interest rate is 8%, and the time for which it is invested is 10 years. So first, clear the data registers, press second, then FV to clear. So your second button is over here and the FV button is here. So second FB. After that, you start entering the data. You can enter the data in different order. So you don't have to do it exactly in the order in which I'm doing it. But I first enter the number of years, which is 10. So I press 10 and then I press N. So it should display N equal to 10.00. The N button is here. This is the N button. After that, I enter the interest rate. Now the interest rate you enter as a percentage. So you press the interest rate 8 and then press I by Y. It will display I by Y equal to 8.0. The I by Y button is over here next to the N button. After that, you enter the amount that you're investing today, which is 1,000. Now this financial calculator follows the correct convention in which if you are paying money today, then you should put a negative sign on it. So it keeps track of whether the cash is coming in or it's leaving. If the cash is being paid, then it is a negative cash flow, so you have to mark it as negative. If you forget to do that, you may get wrong results. So I have 1,000 and then I put a minus sign in front of it, and then I hit present value. So it should display present value equal to minus 1,000. Now all the data has been entered. So we can ask the calculator to compute the future value. To do that, we have to hit the CPT button, which is over here. So hit that button, and then the answer that you want is the future value. So hit the future value button, and it will show you 2,158.92. So the CPT button followed by the future value button, and that is your answer. A sum of $1,000 invested for 10 years at a rate of 8% every period, which is a year, has a future value equal to 2,158.92 cents. The next example with the BA2 has a car loan of $20,000 for 60 months. The interest rate is 0.6% monthly, and we have to find what is the monthly payment. So the car loan is $20,000 and their monthly payments, and the time is 60 months, and the interest rate is 0.6%. So if you take this as positive 20, then you're going to repay this loan, and you take the calculator. So first clear it, hit second followed by FV, second then FV. enter 60 for the number of periods, enter 0.6 as the interest rate, enter 20,000 as the present value. So now all the data has been entered. There is no future value to be entered because there is no balloon payment at the end. These are just monthly repayments. Hit compute, that's CPT, and then hit PMT for payment. And the answer is minus 397.91. So why the minus? The minus because these are payments you are going to make. Because the initial present value was plus 20,000, so the calculator took that to mean you're receiving 20,000. So the calculator says that your monthly payments are going to be given out by you, hence the minus sign. We next have an example of a card loan for $18,000. The monthly payments are $449.99 for 48 months. We need to calculate the interest rate. So once again, you take the calculator and you clear the registers by pressing second followed by FV. After that, you enter the data. So let's say you enter first the number of months, which is 48. So 48, and then press N, which is over here, the N button. Then enter the loan amount, 18,000, and press present value. So you're receiving the loan, it'll be a positive amount. When you make payments, you're paying out, that will be a negative amount. So for payments, you enter 449.99 and then hit the plus minus button to make that negative, and then press the payment button. So now all the data has been entered and the calculator is ready to calculate the interest rate. So press the CPT button, which is over here, and then press I by Y to get the interest rate, which it gives as 0.77005, which means that it is 0.77005% per month. Till now, I had shown you how to use the BA2 calculator for annuities, for regular cash flows. Now I'm going to show you how to use it for uneven cash flows. So suppose that there is a cash flow which has payments of $5,000 the first year, $8,000 the second year, $2,000 the third year, and $4,000 the last year. So the question is, what is the value of this cash flow today if the discount rate is 7% per annum? How do we find that using the BA2? Well, now we shall have to use the registers, which to be cleared, you have to press second followed by the CEC button, which is second, and then the CC button is here. So press those to clear the registers. Then press cash flow button, which is over here, and the down arrow button, which is this one, once. It should show you C01 equal to 0. Now enter 5,000 and press enter, the enter button, which is this button. Then it will show you C01 equal to 5,000. So you have entered the first cash flow at year 1. Now press the down arrow twice and it will show you C02. So this is the down arrow, press it twice. Next, enter the amount for the second cash flow, which is 8,000, and press enter, which is this button here. It will show you C02 equal to 8,000. Similarly, enter the remaining two cash flows, 2,000 and 4,000. Next, we need to enter the discount rate. For that, press the NPV button, which is this button here. It should display I equal to 0. Now, the discount rate is 7%. So, enter 7 and then press the enter button. It should show I equal to 7.0 now. Now, press the down arrow again, which is this here. It should show NPV equal to 0. Now all the data has been entered. You want the calculator to compute the NPV. So press the CPT button, which is this button here, and it gives you a result, NPV equal to 16,344 and 58 cents.